there, today I will be sharing 5 new dinners with you that you can make in only about 10 minutes or less. These dinners are absolutely perfect for those crazy busy weeknights that we all have. Let's get to my kitchen and let's get to cooking. To kick us off today, we are making this tomato Parmesan orzo with chicken and spinach. I'm beginning the recipe by cutting 2 chicken breasts into smaller cubes. As you see, I'm doing it with a fork and knife. This is my favorite way to cube chicken. That way you don't have to touch the chicken at all. Over to the pan on my stove, I'm adding in a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I added in a diced yellow onion with a tablespoon of minced garlic, then the cubed chicken. For the seasonings, I'm adding in a teaspoon of salt and pepper, a teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder, then 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Cook this chicken on a high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't need the chicken to be cooked through. You just kind of want to form a sear on the outside. That will add a lot of great flavor. Now go ahead and stir in 1 cup of uncooked orzo, then add in your 15-ounce can of tomato sauce along with your chicken broth and then a half a cup of heavy cream. Give this a stir and let this simmer on your stove covered for about 8 to 10 minutes or until the orzo is tender and the chicken is completely cooked through. While this is simmering, you do want to make sure you stir this occasionally just so the orzo doesn't stick and burn. After the simmering time is up, go ahead and stir in your 1 cup of fresh spinach and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Once the Parmesan is melted, you could serve this delicious dinner up. Okay, when I tell you you need to make this dinner, you absolutely need to. This is so delicious. Everybody in my entire family loved this one. Also, it seriously came together in no time at all. It is rich and delicious and adaptable, so you could add ingredients to it or subtract ingredients. You will be having seconds or even thirds, like me, of this chicken taco soup. It is that good. Into the pot on my stove, I'm adding 1 drained can of chicken, or you could use any cooked shredded chicken you like. I just like how affordable canned chicken is. Then add in a drained can of corn, followed by a drained and rinsed can of black beans, a drained can of Great Northern beans, a can of petite diced tomatoes, then add in a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. That will add a lot of flavor. Next, 3.5 cups of chicken broth, then a tablespoon and a half of taco seasoning and a tablespoon and a half of ranch seasoning. It is that simple. Give this a stir and let this boil on your stove for about 5 to 10 minutes or until everything is heated through. I did serve this alongside of my favorite corn muffins. I like to make these just alongside of dinner sometimes. So into this bowl, I added in a box of Jiffy corn muffin mix with 1/3 cup of milk and 1 egg. I'm also adding in a half a cup of Mexican style cheese. That's my little secret to make them super good. I've also added in like cooked bacon, sausage, or even peppers in the past, and that really elevates just regular corn muffin mix. But I have my silicone muffin pan right here. This is my mini muffin pan, so these corn muffins just won't take super long at all to bake in the oven. These will bake in a preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 5 to 8 minutes or until they're done cooking. Here's what the soup looks like once it's through boiling. You could serve your dinner up now. I topped my soup with shredded cheese, fresh tomatoes, sour cream, and cilantro, but top your soup with anything you have on hand or you like. This soup is so filling and delicious. I could go back for seconds or thirds every time. It really is that good, and those corn muffins are delicious with that added cheese. Now we're making these scrumptious hamburger sliders. So on my cutting board right here, I'm going to dice 1 yellow onion into smaller pieces. Over to the pan on my stove, I'm going to add 1 pound of ground beef in there, or you could use any type of ground meat or meat substitute that you like. Add the diced onion in there and break the ground beef up. Cook the ground beef through, and once it's cooked through, just remove any excess grease from the pan. Then add in a tablespoon of dill pickle relish, a tablespoon of yellow mustard, tablespoon of mayonnaise, then 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Give this a stir to combine the ingredients and then take it off of the heat. Now over to my sheet pan, I have a package of dinner rolls right here. You could use any dinner rolls that you like. Slice the dinner rolls in half, then place slices of cheddar cheese on the top, or you could use any type of cheese that you enjoy. Pepper jack would be good, or Swiss, really anything would work. Now place the hamburger mixture on one side of the dinner rolls, then place the other side of the dinner rolls on top. I'll set these to the side. We're going to work on this sesame seed mixture now. This is optional, but I do like adding it. I have 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and to the butter I added a tablespoon of sesame seeds. Give it a stir and then brush it on top of the dinner rolls just like this. Bake this in a preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until the cheese is melty and the top of the dinner rolls are golden brown. I know it's not hamburger season right now, but I don't know about you, but I tend to get cravings for food in like opposite seasons. So if you get a hamburger craving like I did, you need to make these hamburger sliders. They are fantastic. Now we're getting started on this Parmesan chicken pasta. So to this pot of boiling water on the stove, I'm adding in 10 ounces of penne pasta, or you could use any pasta that you would like to or have on hand. Over to the pan on my stove, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Next, add in a pound of cubed chicken breast along with a tablespoon of minced garlic. Then for the seasonings, I'm adding in a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, a teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder, and then a teaspoon of paprika, or you could really use any seasonings that you like. Stir this around and let the chicken cook through on a higher heat. If you cook it on a higher heat, it will tend to cook quicker. Now add in a cup and a half of heavy cream with 2 cups of Parmesan cheese. Give this a stir and let this simmer until it thickens. Also, if you want to make this like a sun-dried tomato pasta, you could add in a half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes, or if you want to make this a Cajun pasta, add in a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. But now that my pasta is tender, I just removed a half a cup of the cooked pasta water and I added it into the sauce to kind of thin out the sauce. Let this continue to simmer and then add in the cooked pasta. Just give it a stir to coat the pasta, and then you could serve this beautiful pasta up. I could probably eat this every single night of the week and not get tired of it. It really is that delicious. It is so creamy and rich. It is very similar to like a chicken Alfredo, but in my opinion, it has more flavor than chicken Alfredo. You need to try this dinner. You will not be disappointed. Now we're making these tostadas, and to get this recipe started, we like to serve them with Spanish rice. My store was all out of the 7-minute Spanish style rice that I normally buy, so I opted for this rice. It did take longer to cook, but I do suggest you using like the instant Spanish rice just to make it a little quicker. But this rice was good, so I just cooked it according to the package instructions. But while this was cooking away, I did start on my taco meat mixture. So over to the pan on my stove, I'm adding in 1 pound of ground turkey, or you could use ground beef, ground chicken, or any meat substitute. Break the ground turkey up and cook it through. Now that it's cooked through, I'm adding in a tablespoon of taco seasoning along with 1/3 cup of water. Give this a stir and just coat the meat with the taco seasoning and the water. Now that the turkey is well coated, I'm going to take it off of the heat and I'm going to go over to my countertop, and I have a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. On my countertop, and I have a bag of tostadas right here. If you've never tried tostadas, they're kind of like large corn tortilla chips. They're really good. I place them on my sheet pan. Now I'm going to spread refried beans over the top, or you could use any beans or anything that you like. Place the taco meat on top of that and bake this in a preheated oven to 400 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once it's out of the oven, you could top your tostadas with anything that you like. I'm topping mine today with shredded shredded cheese, shredded lettuce, diced onion, fresh tomatoes, and cilantro. But seriously, just top yours with anything you have on hand, or feel free to not top it with anything at all. I also topped mine with sour cream and served it alongside of the Spanish rice. I absolutely love tostadas. My mom used to make them when I was growing up sometimes, and they're just a great, affordable, delicious dinner. I have so many more videos like this on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.